Good afternoon, all of you. Okay, in the last class, we have discussed about the connective tissues. Okay, which are divided into three group. Okay, three types. That is a loose connective tissue, dense connective tissue, and a specialized connective tissue. Okay, under loose connective tissue, there are two types of loose connective tissue. One is areolar connective tissue, and the second one is adipose connective tissue. And next, the second type, that is the dense connective tissue. The dense connective tissue is again divided into two types based upon the arrangement of the fibers in the matrix. If the fibers are arranged, parallel to one another in a rows, then such a type of tissue we are calling it as dense regular connective tissue. Example, tendon and a ligament. Tendon connects muscle with the bone, whereas the ligament connects the bone with the bone. Endings of two long bones are joined by the ligaments, which helps in movement of the body parts. Okay. And next, the dense irregular connective tissue, which is present usually under the skin. Okay. And next, the specialized connective tissues like a cartilage, bone, and a blood. Okay, will form the specialized connective tissues which possess the fiber secrete. Okay, the fiber and the matrix producing cells are enclosed in a lacunae or cavities. Okay, and the matrix, which makes the matrix flexible or strengthened. And next, the blood is a fluid connective tissue which do not possess fibers in that. Okay, blood is one of the fluid connective tissue in which we don't find the fibers, which consists of plasma and blood cells, which includes red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. Okay, and next, the next type of tissue that is present in the animals. Okay, that is very, very important. That is the muscle tissue. Okay, is the muscle tissue. Okay, each muscle is made of many long cylindrical fibers arranged in parallel arrays. Each muscle is made of many long cylindrical fibers arranged in parallel arrays. These fibers are composed of numerous fine fibrils called myofibrils. Okay, each muscle is made of many long fibers arranged in parallel arrays. These fibers are composed of numerous fine fibrils called myofibrils. Okay, and next, muscle fiber contract or shorten in response to stimulation, then relax, that is lengthen, and return to their uncontracted state in a coordinated fashion. Okay, that means the muscle or the contractile tissue. That means whenever they need, they can undergo contraction, that is shortened, And next, whenever the
Relax.
contraction, yes, they undergo contraction, they undergo contract or shorten, okay, in response to stimulus. Depending upon the stimulus, extent of the stimulus, they undergo contraction. Okay, when the function is completed, again they comes to their normal state, that is the relax, then relax, that is the lengthen. The shortened structure again now becomes lengthen and return to their uncontracted state, that is the normal state. We say uncontracted means that is the normal state in a coordinated fashion, that means one after the other. Depending upon the requirement, it undergoes contraction. Whenever the function is completed or whenever that work is completed, again it undergoes relaxation. Okay, and both contraction relaxation occurs in a coordinated manner. Then only a function or a work will be carried out. Okay, there is okay, and this contraction relaxation of the muscles will help in different ways. Their action moves the body to adjust to the changes in the environment. Okay, because of the contraction relaxation of the muscles, what happens? They help the organism to adjust to the changes in the environment and to maintain the positions of the various parts of the body. Okay, depending upon the requirement, the different body parts in our body will be positioned in different ways. So depending upon the requirement of the body, okay, the adjustment of different body parts will be observed. Okay, and this adjustment will occur because of the contraction relaxation of the muscles. Okay, in general, muscles play an active role in all the movements of the body. Okay, if any part that is present in our body is moving, means it is only because of the contraction and relaxation of the muscle that is associated with that body part. Okay, if any body part is showing any movement, okay, if any body part is involved in showing any movement, okay, it is only because of the contraction relaxation of the muscle. So in general, muscles play an active role in all the movements of the body. Okay, you are moving your tongue, you are moving your eyes, you are moving your hand, you are moving your okay legs. Okay, you are okay, you are okay, the different parts of the digestive system are moving. Okay, okay, the heart is moving. Okay, that is undergoing contraction, relaxation, and pumping the blood. Okay, the blood is flowing in the blood vessels. Okay, that is okay, the okay, you are passing the urine. This is all because of the contraction, relaxation of different muscles that are present in our body associated with the different organs. So any movement that is taking place in our body, it is only because of the contraction, relaxation of the muscle that is associated with that body part. Okay, that is. And next, when you observe the muscles are of three types based upon their structure and function. Based upon the structure and function of the muscle fibers that are present in a muscle. Okay, the muscles are of three types. That is a skeletal muscle, smooth muscle, and a cardiac muscle. Already you might have studied at your in your lower class. Okay, there is a skeletal muscle, smooth muscle, and a cardiac muscle are the three different types of muscles that we'll find in the vertebrates. Okay, and next, including the human. Okay, first we'll discuss about the skeletal muscle. Okay, when you observe the skeletal muscle tissue is closely attached to the skeletal bones. Okay, why the name given the skeletal muscle means? The name skeletal muscle is given because these muscles are associated with the bones of the skeleton. Okay, that is okay. So that means as these muscles are attached with the bones of the skeleton, that's why we are also calling skeletal muscle. And next, in a typical muscle such as the biceps, striated or striped skeletal muscle fibers are bundled together in a parallel fashion. Okay, the skeletal muscle is also called as a striated or striped muscle. Why? Because, okay, when you observe the muscle consists of mainly two proteins, actin and myosin filaments. Actin and myosin protein filaments are present. In case of skeletal muscle, this actin and myosin filaments are present in a alternate manner, giving nature to the muscle, like a dark and a light band, okay, which is formed by this actin and myosin. Okay, okay, because of the presence of the striations in this muscle, because of the presence of actin and myosin filaments. Okay, that's why this muscle we are calling it as the striated muscle or striped muscle. Okay, we'll find the striped shirts now. Okay, in the form of lines. Okay, if you observe dark line, white line, dark line, white line, dark line, white line, like that the stripes will observe now. That's why this skeletal muscle is also called a striped muscle or a striated muscle. Okay, and these muscle fibers are bundled. Okay, they are present in the form of a bundle. And these, okay, and this bundle is covered by a connective tissue sheath. Okay, a sheath of tough connective tissue encloses several bundles of muscle fibers. Okay, these muscle fibers are enclosed by a connective tissue. Okay, tough connective tissue. Okay, that is, and okay, and we'll discuss about the structure of this skeletal muscle in detail, and the muscle fibril or muscle fiber and muscle fibril in detail while we are discussing about locomotion. Okay, while we are discussing about locomotion, okay, we'll come across this muscle, the structure. Okay, we will discuss in detail structure of this skeletal muscle fiber exactly. Okay, okay, you can observe here the diagram. Okay, the skeletal muscle. Okay, we can observe the striations in which light band and a dark band, light band, dark band, light band, dark band, alternating with one another. That's why we are calling it as a striated muscle or striped muscle. Okay, as it is associated with the skeletal bones. Asma.
Sir, it present in only bones, sir.
Not bones, ma, attached with the bones.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They are attached with
Attached
the
with
bones of
skeleton,
the
sir.
skeletal muscle. They are attached with the skeletal bones and helps in the movement. Okay, if any skeletal bone is moving, you are able to move. Okay, you are able to move your hand. Okay, because the muscle that is associated with this one is the skeletal muscle. Any body part that you are able to move with your willing, okay, that bone, okay, that muscle, okay, for that the muscle is responsible, and that muscle we call it as skeletal muscle or striated muscle or striped muscle, it is also called as voluntary muscle, because you are able to undergo contraction and relaxation of this muscle voluntarily. When you give any instruction to that muscle, then only it is able to undergo contraction and relaxation depending upon your requirement as you are willing. Okay, for example, if you want to pull your hand up to certain distance, you are able to pull your hand up to that distance only, not more than that. Okay, that means in your willing, okay, that you are willingly you are able to move your hand. This is because of the presence of this skeletal muscle associated with that body part. That's why as these muscles are under the voluntary actions, that's why this muscle is also called as voluntary muscle, the skeletal muscle. Okay, and the next second type of the muscle, that is the smooth muscle. Smooth muscle or unstriped muscle, unstriated muscle, or involuntary muscle. All the four are different names, but for one type of muscle only. There is smooth muscle, okay, and next unstriated muscle, and next unstriped muscle, and the next involuntary muscle. Okay, we'll see. Okay, when you observe the structure of the smooth muscle, the smooth muscle fibers taper at both the ends. Okay, we can observe here. Okay, on both the ends it is pointed, and in the middle it is swollen. Such a form we call it as the tapering ends. Okay, at both ends, that is like fusiform in the form of beetroot, and do not show striations.
Radish, sir.
Not beetroot, not radish. Okay, both the ends should be tapering. Okay, they do not show striations. Okay, one thing you have to remember, in this also we'll find actin and myosin filaments, but they are not properly arranged to show the striations. They are not arranged in a regular fashion to show the striations. Okay, that's why as they are arranged irregularly, so that's why we don't observe the striations in that. That's why we are calling it unstriated muscle. Okay, and next cell junctions hold them together, and they are bundled together in a connective tissue sheath. Okay, there are some junctions. Okay, already while we are discussing about the junctions we come across now, there are some cell junctions between the adjacent smooth muscles, through which one muscle cell is connected with the another muscle, and all the muscle, okay, the muscle fibers, the smooth muscle fibers are also bounded by a connective tissue sheath. Okay, when you observe these smooth muscles, smooth muscle is also called as involuntary muscle. That means the muscle, okay, which are not under our control. Okay, that is depending upon the requirement, they in themselves are able to undergo contraction and relaxation. They are not under our control. That means okay,
Are they attached with it?
they will not work according to our will. Okay, for example, okay, when you observe the digestive system up to the swallowing of the food, you are able to know. Once you swallowed the food, once the food enters into the esophagus, sorry, what is happening from the esophagus to the food material, we doesn't know. Okay, when the food is present in the mouth, we know. When we are swallowing through the pharynx, we know. But once the food reaches the esophagus, how the process is going on, we doesn't know. That means, okay, we don't know. Okay, we don't say that it is not okay, nothing is happening inside, but it is happening. The process of digestion, the food material is pushed from esophagus to the other, okay, stomach to small intestine to large intestine, slowly. This is because of the peristaltic movement of the alimentary canal or gut wall. This peristaltic movements or this peristalsis is a good example for a involuntary action, because once the food is entered into the digestive system, the peristalsis will start, and it will continue till the food is digested, absorbed, and finally ejected the undigested
Sir,
waste.
the walls of alimentary canal is made up of this smooth muscle, sir.
Yes, ma. Starting from esophagus.
Okay, sir.
Starting from esophagus, not complete alimentary canal. Alimentary canal means from mouth to anus, but the mouth, okay, and pharynx are having voluntary muscles, because whatever the food you are achieving, it is in your will. Whatever the food you are swallowing, that is in your will. If you want to swallow, you will swallow, or you don't swallow. But once the food is swallowed, swallowing means taking into the completely into the esophagus, that pharynx, which we call it as gullet. Through gullet, it is entered into the esophagus. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Once the food is entered into the esophagus, we don't know what is happening, but we say that there is nothing happening. It is happening. The food is getting digested. It is moving from one part of the body to the other part. Okay, this movement is because already we said any movement that is taking place in our body is because of the muscle contraction and relaxation. But that muscle contraction, we are not, okay, it is not under our will. Okay, why? Because the muscle layer that is present in the alimentary canal starting from esophagus is a smooth muscle. Okay, once the food is entered, automatically the peristalsis will start, and once the food is completely digested, the peristaltic movement will be stopped. Understand?
Okay.
So that's
Yes,
why,
sir.
okay, you can see here where these muscles are present, mean the wall of internal organs such as blood vessels. Okay, the blood vessels, okay, will undergo contraction, relaxation depending upon the flow of blood. And next, but we doesn't know. Stomach, intestine, already I told you, the alimentary canal. This type of muscle tissue, okay, they possess this muscle tissue. And smooth
Sir,
muscles are
mouth is skeletal muscle, sir.
skeletal muscle, means the muscles which are associated with the bones of the skeleton, which are under our will. The
Yes, sir.
contraction,
Mouth,
relaxation. Esma?
mouth muscle is
Esma.
skeletal
The
muscle,
muscle,
sir.
Esma. We are opening our
Yes, sir.
jaws now. Okay, jaw. The movement of the jaw is under our control. The movement of the tongue is under our control. It is voluntary only, voluntary muscles only. The tongue, the muscles
sir.
associated with the tongue are voluntary.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Okay, the muscle, okay, ciliary muscle. Okay, the ciliary muscle that is associated with the pupil of the eye is involuntary, because it automatically adjusts according to the light and allows the light to penetrate, okay, to enter into the inner part of the eye. Okay, bright light.
Sir.
And okay, okay, for example, okay, you are going into, okay, to watch the movie into the theater. Okay, you are in a bright light, suddenly you enter into the theater. Once suddenly, if you entered into the darkness of the theater, you are unable to see the objects clearly. But after some time, after 5 minutes or 10 minutes, you can observe all the objects around you in the theater very clearly. But suddenly when you entered, okay, it will not be. That means what happened? Okay, before also the same,
Pupil.
okay, before also the same site, after also the same site only. But the difference is adjustment in your eye. Okay, during dark. Okay, when you are observing the objects during okay, in the dark, the diaphragm has to be increased, or the entry of the light has to be increased. Then only you can observe the objects clear. That the diaphragm or the pupil has to be increased only when the ciliary muscles will undergo contraction. But when the bright light is there, again, that will be normal. It will comes to the normal state. Okay, that one we can.
Pupil will extend.
Yes, ma'am. So the muscles that are associated, that is the ciliary muscles.
Sir, one doubt, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, swallowing voluntary or involuntary, sir?
Swallowing is a voluntary action. Okay, we'll swallow the food by
Yes,
pushing
sir.
food material into inside with the help of tongue.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and the muscles that are associated with the pharynx, the muscles that are associated with the pharynx are voluntary. Okay, when
Yes, sir.
coming to
Yes, sir.
esophagus only, okay, the differentiation in esophagus, the upper part of the esophagus is having voluntary, whereas the lower part of the esophagus is having involuntary muscle. There is a slight difference.
Then lower part of esophagus is smooth muscle present,
Smooth
sir.
muscle, asthma. Okay, up to that level we don't want. Okay, generally they say esophagus is involuntary. Okay, when you go to higher education,
sir,
that
yes,
a
sir.
detailed description will be coming. Okay, okay,
Yes,
we
sir.
don't want. Okay,
Okay,
that's
sir.
why. That's okay. That's why. Okay, that contra. Okay, that okay. Okay, we say some contra is there. No, that's why they have not mentioned the esophagus. They clearly mentioned stomach and intestine because they are completely made up of involuntary muscles. They didn't mention the esophagus. Why? Because some misconception is there related to that, because it is not completely made up of voluntary muscles, not completely made up of involuntary muscles. That's why they didn't mention it here. Okay, so smooth
Which
muscles,
one, sir?
esophagus.
Okay,
They
sir.
mentioned stomach and intestine. Intestine means it comes like small intestine and large intestine. So stomach is okay, intestine means that is the alimentary canal. What are the other parts? Mouth, pharynx, and esophagus. Remaining parts. That one only. No.
Okay, sir.
That's why there is some okay complete. Okay, that means there is some difference is there. That's why they didn't mention esophagus here. Okay, when you go to higher education, they will discuss in detail while we are studying. Okay.
Okay, sir.
That is, smooth muscles are involuntary as their function cannot be directly controlled. That means as the smooth muscles, that means the contraction, relaxation of the smooth muscles is not under our control. As they are not under our direct control, that's why they are called involuntary muscles, the smooth muscles. We usually are not able to make it contract merely by thinking about it as we can do with the skeletal muscles. Okay, that is, we usually not able to make it contract merely by thinking about it as we can do with the skeletal muscles. For example, if I want to lift the bucket, then what I will give some instructions to my hand, the muscles of my hand to undergo contraction up to that point where I have to lift and I have to place that. Understand? So that means the skeletal muscle or voluntary muscles are completely under my will. But okay, you have taken the food into the, okay, from esophagus, the food entered into the stomach. Okay, after entering into the stomach only, you say that, okay, start digestion. Then only the food is digested in the stomach. Okay, you will not say no. Simply you will swallow the food. Okay, it reaches the esophagus. Once the food from the esophagus enters into the stomach, that is the anterior part of the stomach, that is the cardiac stomach. Once the food enters the cardiac stomach, automatically the process of digestion will start in the stomach. So here we are unable to undergo contraction, relaxation of the smooth muscle by merely thinking about it or by sending certain instructions to that directly. But the skeletal muscles we can do. That's why the skeletal muscle is called voluntary muscle, whereas the smooth muscle is called involuntary muscle. Okay. Okay. That is about this smooth muscle. Okay. Tomorrow we'll discuss about the cardiac muscle. Okay. As already informed you, the yesterday itself only the syllabus for tomorrow's test. It is from platyhelminthes up to okay, hemichordates. Platyhelminth, askelmans, enlits, arthropods, mollusk, echinoderms, up to echinodermata, sorry, up to echinodermata, 6 phyla. Okay, hemichordata is not there. Leave hemichordata. Okay, leave hemichordata and the remaining.